Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome to Young Titan World. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be talking about one particular movie, which is basically an animation, and it was like the best of its time back when I was a kid. I mean, they made a sequel after decades and decades of thinking that they would never actually do that. So it's kind of like a little bit of a surprise to me to actually see it. But today we are going to be talking about Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. Obviously, quite surprising to actually see that it's there and Netflix was interested in it, so they made it. I mean, let's just take a step back. Now, Chicken Run was more of this AARDMAN kind of animation, which basically used clay. It was claymation, and it definitely was perfect to me. The villain was a freak show in the first one. The protagonist was very well determined, and the goal was pretty much clear as day. And them going for a sequel probably means that they're a little bit desperate as to what exactly they want to produce at Netflix, because I don't know, they're kind of a little bit all over the place when you want to talk about what Netflix chooses to produce each and every single day. But let's just talk about it. Dawn of the Nugget. Now, Dawn of the Nugget is after Chicken Run happens. Now, Chicken Run is where a bunch of chickens do not want to pay their poultry service and decide to bust out of their own poultry farm and make way into the world by themselves. For a bunch of chickens which are not necessarily the smartest birds on the planet, they are really capable in this animation and are capable of making so many adaptations to live a life that is absolutely spectacular. Honestly, when I was a kid, I loved their ingenuity, especially the rats though. They definitely fueled that fire. And when we get to Dawn of the Nugget, we realize that the one who busts out the chickens now has a daughter of her own, one who she's conscious of, and chooses not to go back into the fray of busting out of poultry farms because she wants to keep her daughter safe. Now, the daughter being the child of the person who led the prison break of chickens for the first time, she definitely has the urge to bust out of something. So she actually does. Out of her parents' control, they freak out, they try to go find her. She finds a poultry farm which she thinks is amazing, and I mean, obviously the bad guys were doing something incredibly ludicrous by making the animals happy before they die. Now, I mean, the way they presented it was a little bit crazy, but I'm sure there's a science to back up some facts, okay? Because definitely when you kill yourself, when you kill yourself, you release certain chemicals in your body versus when you're killed unawares or when you're killed in a lifetime of happiness. So I would say that there is always a difference that exists on that plane. Now, for me, I just chose to just go over the crazy bits or the parts that didn't really make sense to me. And we just went to the part where her daughter decided to just go out there and face the world on her own. And mainly trying as much as possible to make friends and understand the new and bright world. Now, from what we gather, the daughter doesn't really have much of an experience of the outside world. She doesn't even know who human beings are, and she doesn't know what stuff are. I guess that's the con about being or about having a sheltered life. Not having anyone to tell you what is. And just being locked inside and treated as a princess in a tower. So as she busts out, she finds her own new friend called Frizzy. Or at least I'm gonna call her Frizzy because I may or may not remember her name. And it becomes incredibly great as the duo venture out into the poultry farm that looks attractive for them. They bust in, they see that they're happy chickens, but they realize that they're too happy because the colors on their necks decide to give them a lot of dopamine that makes them happy 24/7. And when the time arrives that they're supposed to be turned into chicken nuggets, they feel honored to get killed and turn into a bucket of chicken bits. But that is how it goes. Now, mother and father decide to bust in with a crew so that they can bust their kid out. They get in there, they try, and they see that their daughter's busted in there and trying to save her new friend. They bust her out, but now they realize, okay, she's made a new friend. Now we're going to sacrifice our lives and go back for the new friend that we don't even know about. But because they love their daughter so much, they decide to do exactly what I just said. Crazy, right? Anyways, go back. We realize that the villain in this one, or at least the partly villain of this one, it happens to be the one from the previous one. And yes, she was the axe-wielding maniac that tried to slaughter the chickens because she required order and control when it came to chicken, or at least poultry farming. I guess she was just like on a whole new level because the security system on that place was more than fucking Alcatraz. And we're talking about chickens here, man. Like, I guess her paranoia really did carry on from the previous movie. Anyways, yes, paranoia. Actually, I thought that the villain from the previous one was dead because she fell from a very high height and she dumped her previous husband who didn't want to be a pushover anymore. Great. Yeah, I mean, it looks like she's willing to jump from husband to just live out a dream as a poultry farmer, or at least a military poultry farmer. I don't know. So point blank, we get to the part where we realize that, okay, family, chickens, they've come, they've rescued, they've saved the day, and now they have become, like, I don't know, a better family than ever, because now they're gonna make it their life's mission to go around saving chickens that are stuck in poultry farms, which, you know, it should be great until they start realizing that there's a whole economy that requires chickens to lay eggs and be dead so that chickens can become food for humans. But yes, we're not talking about that. We are talking about how this ended on a very beautiful note. Family came together, lives were loved, and happiness was restored. And as they became the prison breakers of chickens for the century. Yeah, that's pretty much the story. That's a really amazing story. I loved it. I really loved it. Not sure why they considered a sequel after all this time, because it has been decades, actually. But I'm assuming it's because someone there saw it was an opportunity to get back to the old fans. Now, considering the fact that the actors, or at least the voice actors, are not the same as the previous ones, I do have to commend them for sounding equally similar. Or at least, even though they were very old and you could probably spot it inside their voices, it still did feel refreshing to know that they were alive and well. Now, I don't know whether Zachary Levi was in the previous one or the very first Chicken Run, because I'm kind of feeling like back then I heard a lot of English accents in there. So even if they did get a guy, it was probably a guy who was pretending to have an American accent, though, you know. So I don't know if that is reality or that's just some shit that I made up. Anyways, I did love it. I can't say that I did not love it. The story was not exactly, it didn't catch me by surprise. The fact that they decided to go for the same kind of villain instead of someone new or something entirely different, I guess, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you got the winning pony, then change it for something that you think could win the day, you know? I guess that's the... Hey, but the fact is, on 2 occasions, I've seen the villain of the story not die exactly because I don't know how the plot. It's like the villains have a really good plot armor in Chicken Run, because yeah, she falls into that thing that's supposed to turn chickens into nuggets, and she comes out whole. And I don't know how it equates, but maybe she has, like, I don't know, 1000% armor on her or some shit, because she definitely doesn't die. and she just like pops out covered in, I don't know, chicken nuggety assortments or some shit. Probably, excuse my cussing. It just doesn't make sense to me how she still survived after dropping into what is literally a meat grinder that is attached to a fryer, that is attached to a flavor cannon. I don't know. It's just, okay, I'm all over the place right now. Point is, it was a really great movie. It was great. I guess it was great. It was doable. It was okay, all right? It was okay. That's all that matters. Thank you guys so much for listening. I do really appreciate your response. You let me know what I missed, and we can talk about it later. I mean, like, totally. I'm here for you guys, you know. You guys literally pay me to talk to you, you know. It's like, it's amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys take care. Until the next one, I'm Titan out. Thank you so much for listening. Young Titan out. Take care.